reading about the ideas they have for new jabbers, potentially for the monkeypox thing. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to use the word monkeypox. I'm not sure if we can use it now, but I'll find out if I get another ban. So the idea of those jabs that, what are they called, like circular jabs or round jabs? It's a kind of thing where you'd have a prescription, kind of, to be jabbed on a schedule, which means that they're not using the definition of jab, because if you have to keep getting it, it's not a jab. Although they have changed the definition to a lot of these things since a few years ago. And if you keep an eye on online about the subject, they're currently changing stuff about the monkeypox on the fly, and stuff and like tertiary information surrounding it is being changed. There was a guy on the boards that was keeping track of it and posting the changes he was finding that were just being made to better fit the narrative of what they're doing, of what they're going to do here. And they're pushing for the bio ID, the biometric ID thing, whereas you would have all your information with your jab information up to date on your person, which could be scanned like something at a cash register. A biometric identification, I forget exactly what they're calling it. I've seen a couple different names for it. And people, of course, and rightfully so, are tying it to Revelations and the Bible. The thing about the mark of the beast, taking it on the hand or the head. That whole development of the past 2 years was just kind of a trial run to get the logistics and the kinks worked out. Mainly on a cure delivery system, making sure that, so they had to introduce an element that needed a cure, because it wasn't so much about the element itself, but they wanted to do a practice run on how the cure thing would pan out, the numbers, to kind of get an idea of what they'd be working with when they went for the big one, this next one. There's a lot to say about that, and it's changing quite a bit, but I'm not going to focus on that right now. I'm focused on I'm going to focus on the idea that it's part of Revelations and the end time and the book of Revelations and all that, and the Bible. I think for a long time I assumed, as I'm sure many others still do, that it's describing a sort of prophecy in the Bible. Like, this is going to happen, this will happen. And they are manually creating the circumstances so that it will happen. None of what's happening is organic. It's almost like they're using the book of Revelations as a script or a list of things to follow to reach that desired result. Now, if it was indeed a holy prophecy, I don't think you can fake one of those things just by trying to create the conditions to have prophecy take place in a very inorganic way. By, for instance, the idea that there will be great poxes and illness, disease that will be visited upon people, to create those yourself and then put them out in the world, seems like it wouldn't work were it a holy prophecy. But I don't think that it is. I think the way the book of Revelation is described in the Bible, it's not like something that they're guessing is coming or they're prophesying is coming. It's something that's already happened. It already happened many times. I believe that what they're describing is like a checklist or a script, a guide, an instruction manual for how to wrap up the end time. It ties into the Great Reset idea, where for whatever reasons they feel it's time to wipe the slate again and start with a new batch of people. It's just like you're farming land, and after a while the land becomes unusable because it's been farmed too many times. So you have to salt the earth to start again. That's very much what's happening here. They've ran this thing too many times. They've run this game too many times in a row. So they have to redo it. The biblical aspect of it, again, I don't think anyway that it's describing something that's coming. It's describing a how-to or a list of how it happens, and it happens in a cyclical way. This happens every once in a while, and so the fact that they're creating the conditions to facilitate this prophecy makes a lot more sense to me in that context. Because otherwise I would be very dubious about being able to force some kind of holy prophecy. In this way, it's not so much a holy prophecy, but a retelling of things that happened. It's already happened this way. They've done this before. We've been through this how many times? I don't know. But good news is they've done it enough times, so their mode of facilitating this mechanism of renewal, it has begun to come apart. Just like a farm tool that's been used too many times, because it is a farm tool. I mean, they're farming us for our energy, our loot, it's not all that different from the Matrix movie. It's funny how a lot of things in that, I don't think we're literally hooked up to like battery chambers, but they don't have to do any of that. We create our own systems of energy building, of what is it called? I hate when I lose these simple terms. Again, cans of Diet Coke in the 80s, the aluminum. But yeah, so ultimately what I'm saying is that I don't think it's so much that we're going to fulfill some kind of prophecy. I think this is a scenario that happens all the time, or has happened many times already in the past. And because of that, things are coming apart. Like the tool they're using to facilitate this is coming apart. The ties to the veil bro, as well as scale bro. It's the same thing. It's all the same technology, and it's coming apart. So that's good. I mean, if it wasn't, we wouldn't have the awareness of the whole situation happening as it is, When I get into a group of people, I become very aware of what I'm saying. I don't know, I just don't like people listening into me. People will, they're very nosy here. And if you're walking and just minding your own business, it's very easy to find yourself in a group of people because of the strange, slow, staggered manner people move. And there's a tendency to swarm. I can't be too hyper aware of it because I'll be in this situation where I'm just bouncing around in a small area trying to avoid people. But yeah, so in Revelations, what you're seeing isn't prophecy. It's how to, it's already happened. It's already happened. This is a description of this process. Time becomes something to consider because you simply don't know. You don't know the hour or the day. I don't think it's going to be some kind of large event. I don't think we're going to get to anything like that this time. I'm hoping that this time's different. If you know anything about astrology, which I know very little, but I know enough to understand from what I've learned from people, is that all signs point to the fact that it's very different this time. It's the end of a cycle and the end of an age. And in that way, there may be a different result. Or hopefully it's going to be a different result. Let's take a walk up here a little bit more. It's a very, very sunny day out here. But yeah, we're about to enter a whole new round of gaslighting, dronism, where the people are just going to go along. More large portion of the people are just going to go along with this thing. And last week I was talking about how long it would be until this new threat, this new introduced threat, would be mainstreamed. Well, I've got my answer when I'm hearing in-laws, older relatives that are really upset, are really worried about it, telling us to make sure we wear masks again. And it will be back to that. Whatever. Yeah, that's just the time we're here. A lot of us apparently chose to be here for this, whatever reason. and I do feel as if I'm one of those people. There are many of us. It's not something you kind of have any hard proof for yourself to look at. It's just kind of something you feel. And I could be wrong. But yeah, so it took less than a week for it to be mainstreamed. I'm just wondering when they're coming with the mandates. I think right now they're still in kind of a tricky situation because they're still trying to wrestle with the Roe v. Wade thing. So they can't have the kind of signaling out there for mandates while they're still trying to push the my body, my choice thing. And, you know, now the narrative is any kind of health situation should, or health procedure or decisions should be between you and your doctor only. And how dare you, Whoopi Goldberg. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do with my body. My body is my choice, okay? So while you still have that going on, they can't really rush into the everybody put their masks on again. It'll come. It'll come. It's just not the moment. They still have to hash out the R v. Wade thing. But the thing is, people's attention span is so quick. We cycle through these issues so quickly now. I think that may be coming to an end too. Certainly the whole Ukraine thing is over. People got bored with that. You know, you got to keep hold of these people's attention spans. It's a lot harder to do as time goes on. Any one of the things that happened within the last year, maybe 20 years ago, could be stretched out to a 5-year concern. You know, I don't know exact mathematics on that. It's just, you know, my thinking, my guess, but it's something like that. Now they cycle through that stuff much quicker. So, yeah, it's not great news that we're going to go back into one of those things, but the good news is the more they push, the harder they push, and they are pushing hard, the faster their machinery is coming apart. So it's ultimately good news. We just got to hang in there. All right. I'm going to try to finish my little walk here. My people avoidance exercise. Yeah, if I take my eyes off them, they just come right up all around me. Very Truman Show-esque. But that's just the way it is in the end times. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.